Good evening, everyone. A very, very warm welcome to the fourth annual Literary Confluence online. First of all, heartiest congratulations to Manoj Krishnan and Asian Literary Society for organizing this fourth annual Literary Confluence despite the unprecedented times. Manoj has successfully managed to plan the event. And to celebrate this occasion, we have Mr. Rohit Suri on board, who is an ace photographer, and he will be sharing his thoughts about life through a lens. A very warm welcome, Rohit.
Thank you, Nisha. A pleasure to be talking to you over this lovely discussion in the evenings. The
Thank you
evenings
so
are getting a
much.
little colder now, but we will keep our discussions a little warmer. So don't
Warm.
worry.
Absolutely, Rohit. I'll give you a very short brief about Rohit. He's a self taught photographer, filmmaker, scenographer, and artist. And now he enjoys teaching the art of seeing differently. A rather soft spoken, salt and pepper head lensman uh, has come a long way, from photographing beauty pageants to celebrities like former US President Bill Clinton on his visit to India, to fashion shoots for glossies like Vogue, to the more recent spreads for Millionaire Asia. The photographer has been clicking incessantly. When Mr. Suri started his career as a photographer, there was not much respect according to the profession, and that has changed now. And in his own words, the world of fashion is now limitless. It's a healthy trend. So, Rohit, what made you say this? It's a healthy trend and things are changing.
See, one of the the dignity of labor, as we call always, the dignity of labor. So I think so. These societies have come forward to start respecting the dignity of labor. Previously we would name professions by titles, but now you address professionals with respect. So if you have some, if it's a makeup artist, initially they used to be called beauty parlors. Now they say, oh, it's a makeup studio or it's a salon. So I think the dignity of labor that the societies have accorded to all various professions over the years has also helped in taking the levels up. So I personally feel that it is a good gesture that now photographers are treated with a lot of respect, and I feel very happy when people feel that photographers are creative people and they work around technology now and they are quite update on the latest trends. Yes,
Rohit,
Nisha?
I'd just like to ask you, is there another gadget? Because I think your sound is echoing. So, is there another gadget near you which is switched on? Are you
No,
logged in
I
through
think
two
so.
gadgets?
Okay, I'll go a little slow on my sound because when I go a little
Okay.
fast, then is it better now? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, it's a lot of echo is there. Let me just. No, we still have an echo here.
Okay, you still have an echo over here. Okay, I'll just
Yeah,
see
I
the
think now it's
advanced
better.
option.
Now it's better.
It's better? Okay, good.
Yeah,
So,
better now.
can this is good now? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So,
I think
Nisha, I would
something
say
is
that.
amiss here. A lot of echo is
Okay.
there. So I think our audience will not be able to hear you properly.
I'll take a little distance. Is it better now with a little distance? Okay. Is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you get me better now, Nisha?
I think
Yeah.
it's better. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
I think it's better now.
All right.
So how has your journey been as a photographer? You've been, I think, over 4 decades.
Yeah, it's now nearly 40 years of this journey. So 40 years is quite a long time that I've enjoyed this journey. And I still enjoy it. It's not that I'm done with it, but now I enjoy teaching more because
Yes.
I think so I have professionally I've done enough for myself, and now's the time to give back to the society. So the best thing is to teach more and more people your experiences. You don't actually teach; you only share your experiences. I like sharing my experience with the young people now, but It's not only the young. Today, photography is a passion. So everybody has a camera in some or the other form. He has a phone camera or he has a DSLR. And people have now started doing some lot of creative photography. So I have people who learn with me from mid age to the youngsters to all kinds of people from different walks of life.
Great. So you also mentioned that we have, nowadays smartphones which have cameras, inbuilt cameras, and they are being upgraded every day. And you have a DSLR. So obviously, as a photographer, for you, the first choice would be a proper camera gadget. But
Yeah,
do you think it's losing its charm? Clicking pictures is losing its charm.
no, no. See, the amount of photography that happens now has never happened before. Because
Yes.
initially, when it was filmed, you had to buy film rolls, you had to shoot on them, then go for processing. Now it is all instant. So I think so there are no added costs to the job. People are shooting a lot more. In fact, if you see everywhere, people are you taking selfies or they're taking pictures of every place that they are visiting. So photography per se, the entire quantity is in multiples now. Everybody is a photographer now. Whether it's a good photographer or a bad photographer, because everybody is a good photographer. I would say nobody is bad because every image is different. So I would say all of them are good photographers, and everybody is enjoying shooting and saving their memories. So it's on the rise.
And do you think while taking a picture, your photograph should have a composition? For me, like sometimes we only focus on the subject, sometimes we focus on the background only, and the subject loses its charm. So for you, what is a complete photograph?
See, what happens is this is an art. Like we all make food at home, but sometimes somebody makes a dish which is very tasty and everybody appreciates it. So it's like the same way, this is an art. Photography is also an art, and it's a journey in itself. Now when you start taking this journey seriously and you start noticing these small things that matter in your pictures, probably you get to know the composition right, the rule of the thirds, how to place the figure and how to place the background, what background to choose, what lighting to choose. There are so many factors that influence a picture. So it's just not the person who's taking the picture. If he has a little idea about how to use the light available, he creates a better picture. If he has an idea how to use the backgrounds available, he creates a picture. If he knows what perspective to shoot from, he creates a better picture. So this is, you keep improving every time. It's not that you don't, and you see other people's work, you learn from it. And with today's time, the best part is there's so much of work available on the internet that you don't have to visit anybody to see somebody's work. You can see the works of the best photographers in the world, to amateurs, to hobbyists, to everybody. So I think so when you watching is something that has helped this world a lot. When you watch things, you actually improve yourself. Somewhere in your mind, you're improving. And when it comes to practically doing it, I think so you try performing better next time.
Absolutely, very well said. Because what happens is we are in such a hurry. We want instant gratification. Okay, we just click a picture and we are done with. Like we don't give too much of a thought into taking the entire picture the way it should be, ideally should be.
Nisha, I would say, picture is a moment. So probably if you're trying to capture that moment, I don't think so that you have to go back to the very technical details that it has to be a perfect picture, because that moment when it has been shot, somebody smiling, somebody being naughty, somebody doing something funny, uh, is more important. So it's also about moments. It's not only about a very well balanced picture all the time. Sometimes these candid pictures are a great delight. So people are enjoying doing a lot of candid work these days. Candid is in now.
In fact, I was going to ask you, do you also fancy candid, photography? Because
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
are doing fashion photography, so do you get time to, take those candid moments also, capture
Yeah, yeah,
them?
yeah. Candid. See, if you look into the wedding market today, people hire more candid photographers than the regular photographers because they want the candid moments to be caught. So, candid is in now. And if you see candid pictures, they speak a lot. You don't have to explain them actually. So candid shots explain quite a lot themselves, with the mood, with the composition that they've been shot. Of course, you have to have an eye to catch candid pictures, which you actually develop when you keep doing your work and watch seeing somebody else's work. So the most important thing in photography is to see other people's work, try understanding how they have been doing this work, and then you can on instantly, whenever you are doing your work, you can also keep those memories alive and try doing something creative like that.
Absolutely. And for you, why was it fashion photography? I mean, was there anything specific, any specific reason for that?
Well, see,
Have you done it all?
it was my hobby, and I had read this one quote somewhere, choose a job you love and you'll never feel that you have worked a day in life. So I was too young at that time, but I think so. This quote inspired me somewhere. And I thought, yeah, why don't, if I love doing photography, why shouldn't I be a photographer? And I will never feel, because I was always scared that it should not be work. So it never became work. It's been a journey and I still enjoy doing photography. So I think that was the reason that that one quote probably influenced me too much to pursue it at that point in time.
I think it applies to every person in life. Like if I love doing something, I'll do it the best if I'm, enjoying it. If I'm forced
Yeah.
into it, I don't think the product will be, as
Yeah,
good.
so I speak to a lot of doctors. So I speak to a lot of professionals at times. I have a lot of doctors who have picked up photography, and I ask them that, how do you like your profession? Say, oh, well, as a service, it's a great profession to the mankind. But seriously asking, I don't enjoy my profession. And they ask me back that, how do you find your profession? I said, as far as service to me is concerned, yes, it serves for my bread and butter, but as a profession, I enjoy it the most.
Amazing, amazing. And I think you are just, when you're speaking about it, there's something within you that is, reflecting on your face. So you are enjoying it as much.
I think so. I completely love talking about it, and I completely I'm enamored by it. I could say that, I can't think of another life without photography. So I would say that.
But tell me, during these last 2 years, when the pandemic hit, and everybody had to take a back seat, we all had to work from home. But for you as a photographer, did you think it restricted you or limited your access to what you enjoy doing, and how did you cope with that?
See, for a photographer, it's not very important to travel all the time. You actually need a lot of time to see back the content that you have shot over these years, and to understand that, okay, what could have been a better image. Also, I used a lot of my time in producing some artworks from those works, because normally what happens is, with photographers, they finish one shoot and then they are ready for the next shoot, and you do not get so much of time to come back and look back at your work. You look at it, but with a very fast speed. All this lockdown gave me time to notice and to actually enjoy my work. I would say I was enjoying seeing my old work which I had done. So the entire large body of work, there was no disturbance. You couldn't go out, so the best thing was to keep yourself busy with your treasure. I call it my treasure. I don't actually say it's just my work. I say it's a treasure. It's an earning which you can't buy. And when you see those old images, you are revisiting your places in those thoughts, because every place, suppose I was shooting something in Germany, so I remember, oh, I went down to this place and this river was so beautiful. So you're traveling. When you go through those pictures, you're actually traveling. So I think so, I never felt that, oh, I was not going out of the house. I was traveling while being confined to my house.
Amazing. I mean, and it's so optimistic, and you have spoken about it in such a positive manner. Even the pandemic, we took it in a very. I think all of us learned a lot during these 2 years. For us,
We
many
at
of us
least,
took up writing full time.
no, we found time to understand ourselves. Otherwise, we were like machines. We were never like human
Yeah,
beings. Human beings need time and space to, to be able to introspect. So I think so. This pandemic was a great chance to introspect and to see what a lot of people have become chefs now because they were cooking.
yes.
Some are very good at housekeeping also now because that was the only job that you could do. So see,
Jack of
you have
many trades.
there's so many things that you've learned all this while,
Yes.
ironing clothes. Not many people, because you never needed too many clothes, but still you learned how to iron clothes. So I think so. A lot of people learned a lot of good things also during the pandemic, and
So
fresh
when
air,
you
of
look
course.
Correct. So when you look through those images which you had clicked, in the past few years, did you ever give it a think, thought that probably I could have done it better? You introspect also. So was there anything that you said, this is my best piece of work, or this I could have done better? Those thoughts also crossed your mind?
Yeah. See, we are all human beings and we all have likes and dislikes for things. So I would say that yes, sometimes when you see your work and you say, "Oh, how could I be so poor at this?" So there are moments when you don't like your things, and again when you see that thing after a certain time, you like it. So there are moods, where you like things and when you don't like things and you feel that you could have done better. But yeah, see, the best part was that you had enough time to go through them again and again. So probably you were revisiting your places, you were revisiting your process of, why did you shoot them from this angle, and what was the reason behind shooting it like this. So a lot of things could come up to your mind and you could think about them. And actually, I would say that you got answers to a lot of questions during those very peaceful times.
Yes. Those moments of introspection, I think we answered our own, the doubts we had in our mind. I think a lot of them were cleared.
But it was not only about photography, it was also about
Yes,
lifestyle,
right.
it was also about our schedules. So I think so many questions that got answered through this pandemic, that you don't need so much. What I have learned
Exactly.
to live in this pandemic is that you can be a minimalist. You don't really need so much. You don't need this entire thing, so much of luxury, so much of you know stuff around you. You just need simple food and simple clothing to live a very happy life. So probably one of the biggest learnings that I could get from the pandemic was, along with my experiences about my images and all, was that try to be a minimalist. Don't load yourself with too many issues
True.
in life. Stay
I
peaceful.
think
So
I think it's a big learning for all of us. Now we realize
yeah,
it's all
I'm quite
worthless.
sure. I'm quite sure everybody must have experienced a lot of things.
Now, tell me something. In these 40 years as a photographer, you have been traveling overseas. Now, during the past 2 years, since you have been only limited to, India, so do you think you found time to, explore India the way you had never done before? Because
I
did you get
I
an opportunity for?
Yeah, I did do that whenever I got a chance. So I did go out and I did explore the countryside. Uh, but the life was missing. So it looked more like deserted, and it looked more like sad. So probably there were times when I didn't feel like doing photography, because to me it felt very sad and bad, that there is nobody. And we've been used to of having elements. Every element, every person walking on the street in a photograph is an element which catches up, at the monument. So that part of it was missing. Sometimes I would think to myself, well, what's the purpose of this picture? This is just a picture that you're doing and which has no life. So the buildings were there, but the roads were there, but there were no cars, there were no people on the streets.
Like
So
you
if
said,
you
it was
imagine
lifeless.
some pictures coming from Bombay with no people, do you think that
Imagine.
that's possible? No. Some pictures coming from Dubai with not too many crowds.
Impossible.
Not possible. Impossible. So you got some moments which were impossible, but it was really hard to believe that life could bring you to such a stage where there would be anybody on the road.
Maybe the soul
So
of the soul of that picture was missing. The soul,
yeah,
probably
yeah,
what
yeah.
you feel.
People in life are the most important subjects. Buildings are decorated because people and life bring life to them. So that life was missing. Everything was there, but that happiness wasn't there.
True, true. And any unexplored terrains, you have been there, done it all. So anything that you feel, there's a longing that you still wish to, explore.
I I would say that there are a lot of things to learn. So that process of learning is something which I've missed over these years, because I was busy running for my bread and butter, and I was busy with my assignments, my professional work, my creative work. And when I go back to seeing, because I used to shoot for industries also, so when you go back to the industries, when you do films with those factories, you get to know the process. And then I used to realize that, oh my God, there were so many things that I could have learned more. So always that desire to learn more is always there. And I think so that is what I have missed out in life, is that this life is too short to know so many things on this planet. This is a very small span of life which you get, and too short to explore the beauty or to explore the other possibilities around it.
Absolutely. I think I am exactly thinking the way you are thinking right now. My thoughts resonate so much with yours, because I think for us, all of us, I think we are seeking something what you have just spoken about. So wonderful thoughts on that, Rohit.
But
Another thing,
photography,
sorry.
one thing I'll tell you, photography actually has helped a lot of people during the pandemic times, because you couldn't go and meet people, but the internet was working, and the
Yes,
internet was working good. So what was happening was that people were sharing a lot of photographs, and the technology helped people stay connected. How many people would do video chats? I remember half of my day would go in video chats. Okay, I
true.
was done with this group, then I would start with the other group, friends, family, relatives, professional groups. So photo- per se, the art of photography, that image capturing, was at its peak. And there were a lot of people who were doing some creative photography at home with their kids. They had never time for kids, but now, since they were all together, so they were experiencing their techniques and their skill sets, and they were taking some great pictures. So quality family time pictures, of course, when it stays for too long, it becomes difficult. But yes, I
True.
saw a lot of photography happen during the pandemic times.
Now, in olden days, we used to have printed pictures. And then when you flip those pages, for me, that's a treasure. I have
It's a
hundreds of
nostalgia. It's a
albums.
nostalgia that you live in. Yes.
Yes, but hundreds of albums on my laptop. I've saved them into folders, but I don't get time to look at them. But those 2 or 3 albums that I have brought with me to Dubai, when I flip those pages, 30 years back, 40 years back, those pictures, it's a different feeling. So, what is your preference? For you, what is it? Soft copies or print pictures?
See, as far as printing pictures was concerned, yes, that was the time when we were supposed to print pictures, because there was no way that you could save those
Choice.
images. But also looking at it, that printing pictures is very expensive. It's not so economical. Whereas now saving pictures is very economical. You just don't need anything. You shoot a picture and you save it in your hard drive or wherever you want to save it. So that is the reason why people are able to capture more pictures, and they're able to save quite a lot of pictures. Initially, when people would go out on a holiday, they would take one roll,
True.
2 rolls of films. And that would mean 36 pictures or 72 pictures. Or if it was a 120 roll, that would mean 12 pictures. Today, people shoot in hundreds, sometimes in thousands also. Oh, busy shooting, tuck, 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 tuck. So I think so more and more images are being made. And that way, if it was to be printed, people would lose their salaries to printing only. So I'm quite sure
Yes,
that
true.
as times change, this is a very good alternative to save your files.
Yeah, you evolve and you grow, bring yourself up to what happened when we were traveling, like we were in Nainital, one of those initial years, and our role got exposed, and we were so miserable
Yeah, yeah.
because,
So it was
you
like a
lost
loss.
all
It
the,
was like, no,
yes,
but the same
yes,
happens now. When your hard disk goes bad and you have not saved your files on some
agreed.
other hard disk, you suffer literally a near
Shock.
bad day for a few days to come. So
True, true.
you have to be careful, because digital data is also very prone to damage. So you have to make
Yes,
sure that you keep revisiting your hard disks very often, and
yes,
make sure that they are running through. And if you lose them, the entire thing is lost. So the print was a better part in that case, because you
true.
still had something to visit back.
Go back
So
to.
good and bad sides of both the things. But yes, people are saving a lot of money by not printing now.
Now, I'm sure, Rohit, you have inspired, thousands of people. But is there anybody who has inspired you in, in this field? And who is it and what was it all about?
See, in my early days when I was dabbling in photography and I started visiting Mumbai, so I was quite inspired by a few photographers. One of them is no more Mr. Jagdish Mali. He was a very
Oh,
famous fashion photographer. Then Hari Mahedar is still there. We just traveled at the beginning of 2020 in January. We were together in Meghalaya for about 15 days.
lovely.
So he is also one of my gurus, and I got inspired by these people because they had a very different perspective of looking at things. So photography is all about a different perspective of looking at things. That's why I say it's the art of seeing, and everybody says it's the art of seeing things differently. So when you see the works of these great masters, you actually get inspired to see how differently you can look at things and how they see the perspective and how they bring out an image. So I think so. I was quite inspired by it. And I have always loved to visit the work of some of the best photographers. We've had some great photographers from India. Gautam Radheksha Saab was good. If I start naming it, there are a few hundred. So it's not that we always look to the West, that okay, people in the West. We've had some great masters, in photography and filmmaking in our country. So I was quite inspired by most of the people from my country also.
That's great. That's great. Now, there are a lot of budding photographers who will be watching this show. What words would you like to, share with them to inspire them, to motivate them?
See, the point is today what has happened is that everybody is a photographer now. So there are more challenges also. As are the opportunities, the challenges are also bigger because there's a lot of competition now. And everybody is a creative soul somewhere in his heart. So people feel that photographers travel all over the world at somebody else's cost, and you just need a camera and a laptop to do this, and you are interacting with the best people, and you're actually enjoying the best moments with them. So there's quite a big demand from the young people who want to pick up photography as a profession. Now the point is that today is a time when you have to multitask. You cannot survive on one profession. So I am a photographer
Absolutely.
also, but I make films also. I'm a scenographer also, and I paint also, and I do design also, and I teach also. So multiple professions, because times have changed now. So you have to multitask. I would tell all the youth that you pick up photography, try to be a good photographer, try your career, making it your career, but do multitask, because there'll be times when there is very low end business in photography, when weddings are not happening, when events are not. For the last 2 years, there are no weddings, no events. I know people who used to be doing great business in photography were literally asking me, sir, can I get a job somewhere? I said, everything is closed. You can't get a job, sir. How do we survive? I said, that's the same question I'm asking myself. So the problem is that when you multitask, you still have alternate. So I would tell the youth that you should multitask. If you are creative, get into design also, get into events also. Your creativity will be reflected everywhere. So just don't say that, no, I only enjoy doing photography. Okay, you do enjoy photography,
Don't
but
limit yourself. Yeah.
don't limit yourself, because then you will never feel that you're out of job. Something is up, something is down, but you'll still be managing to get something good for yourself.
True. Yeah, Rohit, frankly, it has been such a smooth conversation, and we have picked up such small bits from you, which I think we will remember for a very, very long time. And we really appreciate the time that you have taken out to share your experiences with us.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure.
It's been
It's a
an
pleasure.
absolute pleasure to have you on board today, Rohit. And thank you so much for,
Thank you, Nisha.
sharing
It's a
your
pleasure.
inspiring story.
Pleasure talking to you, and you put up some nice, interesting questions. I hope the audience also enjoyed it, and the youth can be inspired more to do photography. I would love to see more photographers and a lot of people taking more and more pictures, and a lot of happiness, because pictures lead to happiness. You always enjoy
Absolutely.
your pictures. So I would say that this is also a medicine to happiness. Good pictures are a medicine to happiness. So happy photography to everybody, and I would say a very happy Diwali to everybody in advance. And thank you so much, Nisha, for inviting me to
Thank
your
you
show.
so much. We've been having the audience continuously pouring in their comments,
And
and I'm
thank you
sure
to
you'll
the
find.
Asian Literacy Society
Thank
for inviting me. Thank you so much, Manoj, also. And thank you, everybody. Good Good night.
Thank you, Rohit, and wish you a happy Diwali too.
Thank
And
you.
good night. Thank you to the audience for joining in, and we hope to see you again soon.